Hello and welcome back to another farming simulator episode with me, Daddy Jokey. We're back on Riverbend Springs here, and we're gonna go and deal with that new field that I bought in the previous episode. As you can see, there has been a change in my current financial status, and I have negative $8,500. Now that is because a new mod has been published today, which basically automates the repairing of your vehicles, and it does it on midnight every day so that you don't have to worry about it. It is a feature I don't care for. I don't like using it, and so I downloaded and installed that mod, and it did this. It fixed all of my implements, all of our vehicles, everything is ship shape, but it cost all of our money. I'm not bothered because we will be selling all of our oil soon and all of our flour soon, and so that should take care of business. Only thing that is worrisome is that we might not have enough money to actually harvest our carrots, so we'll have to kind of fiddle around with that, maybe borrow some money from the bank again as a an operational loan. But in the meantime, I am going to plow this field so that we can get on with it and put some lime on it, cultivate it, maybe put some canola in it. I don't know. Actually, let's check that real quick. Okay, never mind. We missed canola. We could still make barley. However, it would be a little too, or not too late, but little later than the previous barley on our other field, which would not be ideal in so far as enabling us to plant carrots on this field next year. But we would get double the yield of, or not even double, this field is massive. We would get a huge amount more of cereal crop, which would be good because then we can run that through the mill and make flour and make a ton of money. So yeah. And in previous episode, I was talking about a tool, a front loader tool that lets you pick up rocks without having to buy a $50,000 implement. And if you go and look at ModHub, the in-game ModHub today, as of time of recording, it is not there. However, if you go on third-party websites, you can find it. It is called, what is it called? You know, I actually don't remember what it was called. Doesn't matter. It is fairly easy to find if you just filter for stone implements. It will find it pretty easily. I haven't downloaded it yet. Reason being, I'm not sure if the site where I found it is trustworthy. And so I'm gonna wait maybe a week and see if it shows up on our in-game mod hub. Usually the reason it's not there is because it takes giants forever to verify the mods, and this is not a criticism as such, because it does take a long time for a fairly small team to verify that the mods are functional and that there isn't any malicious software, etc. And that's something that you don't really get at third-party mod hosting services. As well as I never know if the particular site that I'm currently on is a site that uses the mods without the approval of the author, which is something that as a community we shouldn't support, because mostly because the websites collect revenue from ads and they don't share that revenue with the mod authors. And so by having those mods without the permission of the author, you're giving them more revenue to kind of perpetuate that cycle. And so that's why I didn't download it yet. I'm gonna wait, see if it comes up on the official mod hub. And I'm sure it will, because it was there for FS22. There is no reason for it to not be there, other than that it takes forever to actually get through the backlog. I remember, what was that number? It was like 2 weeks ago where there was like 1,200 mods pending the verification by giants. And so, as you can imagine, that probably takes a minute, especially if there's maps, right? Like if it's something as small as a like code for the game, something that just does, a script of sort. That probably doesn't take too long to verify whether or not it works, right? Whether or not it is malicious or in any way dangerous to, your machine or whatever. But something like a map where you have to verify, like think of this map and all the things that could be wrong and broken here. And that's the map that was made by the developers, right? And so imagine now that they have to go and verify someone else's map for, extreme levels of brokenness. So, it probably takes a minute. There was a good amount of stuff released today. Most of it were sheds. There was one kettle building that looked actually really nice. However, it didn't have a manure or milk, I guess not trigger, but like the collection, which I didn't care about the milk so much, but the manure was annoying, because even if you're growing cattle just for meat, they will produce manure when they're in their shed. So that was kind of dumb as far as I'm concerned, and so I didn't download that one either. But yeah, that's about everything that I've had news-wise. And you can tell that this field is going to take a hot minute. However, I was going to stick it on a worker, but as you can see, I have negative 8,500, so I'm not putting anything on a worker anytime soon, and this will all have to be worker daddy jokey. Unfortunately, and this is a feature of the subsoiler, I am producing a lot of stones on this field, which is going to cost me in those daily repairs, because it is going to damage some of my other machines, specifically the harvester. Everything else should be fairly like innocuous, or not innocuous, resilient, I guess, versus stones, right? Because those implements are made for field work. Like I talked about in a previous episode, harvester is where if you pick up a rock, it can break the teeth on the cutter, and if it gets inside the works, it can just break the whole thing. So that's kind of, I think, where most of the damage occurs. But even besides that, it feels like we are creating a very large amount of stones. It is, I suppose, the trade-off between having this working with at such a low horsepower requirement, because the only way to get around creating stones is either not doing any cultivation whatsoever, or using a moldboard plow. Which, if I'm honest with you, I don't really understand it, because I would have thought that if I use deep plow, I would have dug up the largest possible stones. But yeah, such is the game. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this into a time lapse, maybe even like a montage, so you don't have to watch the whole thing unfold, and then I will be back when it's all done, and we'll see how much time is left on October 1, and if there's anything else that needs doing. So let's start it up. Hopefully I will not forget music this time. Here we go. Alright, here we go, the final pass. Let's see what's up. After we finish this, we're gonna go ahead and make sure that this is all of the field, that we don't have any chunks missing. I shouldn't, because this is a fairly straightforward field. I actually really enjoy driving this one. We don't have to make any U-turns, just do these 2 crescent passes up on the sides of each field until you meet in the middle. It's actually fairly nice to do. I think I'm actually needlessly putting more stones into the field by doing this. Oh well, we're a stone farmer. Sorry. I had to open my window because my computer has been running really hot today. For some reason. It usually runs pretty warm, but today it has been just burning up for some reason. And so you might hear some stuff from the outside, like an ambulance drives by or the firefighters take off. I live next to a fire station, so that's a fairly frequent occurrence. So let's go back this thing up. I have realized that there's going to be a bit of a problem with the missing money, and that is that I don't have any lime left, and we need to put lime on that field. But anyway, step 1, let's check out. Yep, we have stubble tillage on this field, and it doesn't need plowing. Or actually, that's not where that shows, is it? This is where it shows. Needs plowing, does not. The fun thing is, somehow, it is fully fertilized. So actually, this field is ready to go. I'm actually a little bit confused about that. It does need lime, so we still have to put a product on there. But that just means 1 round of spraying, which is probably maybe what, 2, 3 things of lime. I think this is where we buy lime, right? And liquid lime, where are you? Not here. Is it in pallet tanks? Yes, there it is. So it's not too horrible. It is really like 900 per box. So I'm thinking we'll probably need 2 or 3 of those. That would be 1800. Can't buy it, we don't have enough money. So we might have to do, let's turn the tractor off so we're not actually running any costs on it. We might have to do some contracts. And it's been so long I don't even remember how to do them. Here is Noah with his little bale wrapper. That's easy to do. I don't know why he would pay us $3,000 for a few hours worth of work, but you know, whatever. Walter wants us to do cultivating on field 38. But he will lend us all of this. So I'm thinking, let's do this just for the sake of using this big O machine. And then we will be out of negative and we will be able to get... what's the word? We will be able to get the lime. So, there. And yes, I did say in the past that I don't want to do the contracts anymore, but honestly, there is a small chance that we'll ever get to use the quad truck in this series, right? Even if, well, I don't know. I guess it would depend entirely on how long I want to play on this map. Currently, if we go to the shop, the quad truck is actually on sale, and we can see that for all of, what is it, 300,000 or 324, almost 25,000. We could own a quad truck, but I don't think selling both kidneys would get us to where we need to go. So we're gonna drive this to field 38, and I know exactly where that is, so I don't even need to look at the map. We could go by the way of the ferry, but I don't know that this tractor coupled with this implement would be under the weight limit of the ferry, because it is only 22 tons that you can put on there. And I strongly suspect that both of these things would be way past 22 tons. Maybe not. Maybe maybe the tractor is made out of some ultra light materials. I doubt it, but it would be hilarious if it were. I wonder if it's got beacons on. It does. Kind of a weird beacon though. I don't know that I would notice that driving up against it. So we're gonna keep it on just for fun of it. Field 38 is yonder at the top of the hill, next to the biogas plant. What's it look like inside the cab? Very red. It's a very aggressive environment. Watch out, guy. Mind yourself. Just turns right into there. Nice thing is, in terms of my computer overheating, or not overheating but running really hot, is that now that I've opened the window, it is running dead quiet because it is freezing cold outside. It is, what was the forecast today? -8 Fahrenheit or something along the lines of that. So proper winter cold, and it is keeping it nice and chilled. I don't think this is meant for road driving. We're gonna pop right off the road onto this farm track and go through there onto that field. That field in front of us is field 38. After all of this sunflower. Ooh, I wonder if we fit through this. Yikes, we might break a guy's fence. Okay, almost. This field over here in front of us is field 38. I don't know what was on it. It looks like maybe sorghum. Let's have a looky. Excuse me. Yeah, sorghum. That'll do. We'll just unfold this beast of a cultivator. We're gonna try to not go into a chicken contest with a school bus. But let's unfold. Oh wow, we're gonna break the fence. Come on. Oh. Yeesh, I did not realize how big of a machine this has been. I feel like this is gonna take like 5 minutes to do with this setup. Look at the wingspan of this thing. Holy Hannah. Okay. Well, let's just do it. Let's put her in gear. I'm not even sure that I know how to like align this properly. Look at this beast. It's unbelievable. These are the farm goals, isn't it? To save ourselves time by just doing half a field in one pass. Look at this. Look at the width of this. That's awesome. But it will still take a minute because we are driving super slowly because we're pulling all of this weight and all of that dirt that we're tilling. So we're doing, we're doing a lot but not fast. Some trade-off. So I didn't want to put this on a time lapse. I was hoping it would go a little bit faster, but I think it will still take a good 20 minutes to do at this rate. So maybe we will do a quick time lapse, unless I have some stuff to say. Which actually comes to my mind. The other day, a law went into effect in the United States that kind of delayed my previous episode because the program I use to edit my videos, called CapCut, is owned by a Chinese company affected by the law. I don't know what the specifics of the law is. It's basically yak, 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 national security, yak, 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 ban TikTok. What a lot of people didn't realize is it bans more than TikTok. It bans, all the programs related to this company. And so I tried to look for an alternative software, and I just couldn't find any. The reason I use CapCut is because, for me, it has the perfect blend of simple user interface and features, and not requiring any kind of login, not paywalling basic features. There is a lot of other softwares that I looked into, And all of them are some measure of worse than CapCut. Either they are too complicated, unnecessarily so for what I'm using it for, or they are just as nicely simple as CapCut, but they require you buying even the most basic features, like, you know, speeding up a video, or, you know, simple stuff like that, or using a transition. Like, for instance, CapCut, they have you pay. There is a pro version of CapCut as well, and when you pay for it, it unlocks more features for transitions, right? It unlocks stuff like denoising your background, right? Like the other day when I had a video when my dryer was running and you could hear it tumbling. CapCut could take care of that if I paid for it, but that is not a necessary feature for me, right? This is just like an extra, so I'm not paying for that, and so I don't have it, and that's my choice, right? But with these other programs, it was always something. And then finally, the last thing that a lot of them wanted was just registering, logging in, right? And if it were just a matter of like, hey, create a quick account, you know, you can just like punch in a dummy address and or email address and, you know, put some password on it, and Bob's your uncle, there you go. But a lot of them were like, hey, give us your street address, give us your phone number, and I'm like, how about no? And so I did the only sensible thing that anyone in this day and age can do when a government does what they don't want them to do, and that is I downloaded a VPN, a free VPN at that, because it would be kind of funny to be like, hey, I didn't want to pay for these features, so instead I'm paying for this VPN. It is a free VPN that allows me to spoof location, and so anytime I need to use my editing software, I just set my location to Canada and do that. And no, I'm not sponsored by any VPN. This is not a what's it called? A coy way to be like, hey, buy NordVPN with my affiliate link. Actually, I honestly, I like free stuff. Free stuff is good. So I looked around for what free VPNs there are, and what I wanted from them was location spoofing. I found one. I'm using one. It has the downside of having a limit on how much data you can use in a month. But the thing is, I don't care, because I'm not using it to actually browse or anything. I'm just using it to access a program that is already on my computer. Costs me absolutely no data downloads. So it's perfect. Yeah. And take that, national security. Honestly, I have no idea what the national security implications, and if you could see me, you'd see me doing air quotation with my fingers, but I don't know what the national security implications are supposed to be, and I honestly don't care. Like, until somebody comes and tells me that this Chinese corporation is stealing my data, even then, unless they're like actively trying to steal my credit cards or destroy my hardware, what do I care? Everybody and their mom has all of my info anyway, so, you know, every time you create a membership to your local grocery store, some hacker somewhere causes a data breach. Hey, your information is out there, so, you know, whatever. I don't care. Nothing that I own is in any danger from the Chinese government, other than that they know what to make more of. And yeah, there. I don't know. Still not sure if there is any sense in starting a time lapse. Maybe I'll just be like, you know what, I'll see you when it's done, and fade to black to when it's done, because we are 50% of the way there, and I have finished the topic of TikTok being banned / CapCut being banned, and I have nothing else to talk about. So yeah, let's do that. I will be right back when this is done. Alright, that's all that then. I managed to complete another contract off camera. Did some wood collection for Noah, just to kind of shore us off and put us back where we were. before we started. I know that I said I don't like contracts, and I wouldn't have necessarily used it, but the mod that I downloaded kind of messed it all up, really. And you could argue that I was going to have to spend that money eventually, but probably not all at once for every single implement on the farm, right? And so that cost a lot of money, and now we're kind of back to zero. And maybe a little bit better, because I had, what, 5,000, and now we have 7. We still owe the bank a ton of money. Where is my finances? Finances are here. So we still owe 20 G's to the bank. We will get rid of that pretty much as soon as we're done with selling all of our stuff, which honestly is going to be pretty soon. The first biggest windfall that we will, or first big windfall that we're going to have, is in December, where we're going to get almost 30,000 for all of our oil. And then we're going to have all of the flour sell in January for almost 32,000. So, you know, we'll use the oil to polish up the debt and have a little bit extra, and then we'll make money off of it right over there. January is also when we're going to sell the wood chippers. We're going to sell the straw. Anything else that sells in January? Hey, not really. We're not really going to be doing that. Yeah, so we're going to have a decent amount of money set for the end of winter, pretty much. But that's all for the next episode. This is all I've had for this one. We kind of had to improvise a little bit as well with that mod, kind of throwing things out of whack a little bit. But that's where I'm going to leave it. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave a like, leave a comment, tell a friend about it, and come back again. Bye.